All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome to the FastWeigh AR discussion and presentation webinar that we'll be doing for you today. My name's Clay Bowman. I'm the Director of Business Development for Tech Insight, obviously the product's FastWeigh. And I'm joined today by BJ Lusk. BJ is our regional sales manager at Tech Insight. As many of you probably know him, he'll be assisting us today with going through the software. So also, I'm joined today by Shannon Walcott, and Shannon is the National Business Development Executive for Basis Processing. And Basis Processing is the processing partner that we chose to develop our platform on. So great to have everyone here today. And just to go over real quick what we'll be discussing, we're going to give you a little product introduction. We'll start with just the basics of the product, kind of give you the high level view. We'll get into basis processing and talk about them a little bit as an integration partner and why we chose them. So we did go through a vetting process, but it's an exclusive technical relationship that we have with them. Very excited about that. We'll get into exactly what FastWeigh AR is and what it can do for you. Again, we'll cover some of the integration with Basis and how those components work. Shannon will actually give us a little bit of detail on that and how that'll work. And looks like we have just a few latecomers that are coming in. We'll just wait here just one moment. And then we'll get into the actual demo for the product itself, and BJ will be helping us with that. And then this is kind of version 1 of the product. So we've been working on it, working diligently. And so version 1's out the door, and then we're going to talk to you about, what's in store for the future. So again, thanks for coming. We appreciate it, and looking forward to getting this presented to you today. So the biggest part about these webinars is everybody, we have a great attendance for this webinar today, but very seldom there's questions. But feel free to click the question answer button there at the bottom, and you can type a question in. Don't feel obligated, but we'd love your feedback. We'd love some questions, because more than likely the question that you have is probably somebody else might be thinking about it. We can't get too far into the details though, but we'd love to at least get some questions and answers going for you if that's possible. So this is all about processing payments within FastWeigh. So what we have here is we have a complete AR and credit management system. Just one second. We're going to see if we can get just a few more in here. So we're going to process payments in FastWeigh. And this is a complete AR and credit management system. So you have full visibility to your outstanding receivables within the FastWeigh system. It's intimately tied to the invoicing platform. So as soon as the invoices are cut, it moves over into the AR. You can track customer balances and produce statements for your customers. And it's secure. It's PCI compliant for credit card and ACH processing. And this is going to be super important. And we'll get into a little bit about how the product's engineered. In FastWeigh, we're not participating in the actual digital transaction process, but we are sharing that process over to Basis Processing, who then handles all the technical aspects of those transactions and their security. So it's a great technical relationship that we've established. So we've partnered with Basis. So who are they? They are a payment processor that's focused on personal relationships, and I can attest to this. We did go through a vetting process, and we always came back to Basis simply because Basis has a keen understanding of our industry already. So they have a lot of dealings within the construction materials market space, and they're very easy to work with. They're family owned, which ties into FastWeigh's roots as well, where Tech Insight today, is the result of a family owned business. So I think our values, our ideas of our philosophies of dealing with customers and helping you guys navigate is right on par. They were founded in 2002, and they have excellent customer support. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. So the benefits of Basis. We're going to hand this over to Shannon, and she'll take it from here.
Hey, thanks, Clay. I appreciate it. Basically, yeah, Basis is short for Bank Systems, and as Clay said, we're a family-owned company based out of Kansas City here, and we're based on the premise of, bigger is not better, better is better. And definitely one of the things that I'm the most proud about Basis is our support. I'm not sure if anybody knows what the NPS or Net Promoter Score is. I just talked with Brad, he's our CEO, and he told me ours is 82. In an industry standard of I've seen maybe -4 to 11. Personally, I've been here for 10 years. It's been a great ride. Definitely specialize in the construction industry. I have aggregate companies, ready mix companies, asphalt companies from, California to Maine and Texas to Michigan. Small mom and pop quarries to large publicly traded corporations. What is it like working with Basis? Great question, Clay. Is we take a very hands-on approach. All my accounts, all accounts that come to a MSM, it's a merchant support manager. Brian Taylor, I've been working with him for 5 years. He knows this industry in and out. He's not scared of large transactions, multi-locations. He really does know the ebb and flow of the construction industry as a whole. Guys, I'm so excited about this integration, this partnership. We've had mutual clients and mutual interests and been running into each other for years and years. And I really do think that this is just one of the best products on the market. Couple things that it does help with is, the swivel chair processing or the elimination of double entry data. I know probably everybody is running, credit cards in one system or through a credit card machine, and then having to enter in things in ARs and other accounting systems. Definitely will help save time. Also, rates. Guys, this integration has level 2, level 3 large ticket integrated processing. So what that means is we have added in extra lines of data so you don't have to allow for the lower interchange rates. Sometimes I see it's like a 1.5%. And imagine if that's like $100,000 transaction. It's a little bit of money in your pocket. Also, PCI, Clay kind of talked about that. We take data security very seriously here. We're in business to keep you in business. We'll reach out once a year. You'll have a dedicated PCI representative to walk you through that SAQ, whether it's an SAQ-A, an SAQ-C, or et cetera. These things are maybe 10 questions to 140 questions, and we're not just going to leave you out there to answer it by yourself. So those are the kind of the things that we will bring to the table with this partnership. And at the end, if there's any additional questions, feel free just to reach out to me. There'll be a link as well, so it'll have my contact information, and just happy to help. All right, back to you, Clay.
Hey, thanks, Shannon. Appreciate it. I happen to live in the state of Missouri, and Basis happens to be in Kansas City. So it's nice. I've been involved with them. They have a great facility, great team. So looking forward to working with you guys and continuing the partnership. So FastWeigh and Basis, let's talk about some of the benefits for you guys and for anyone that might be looking to migrate to FastWeigh. Again, swivel chair processing, just like Shannon mentioned. No more double entry. It's going to save you a lot of time and money. It's going to reduce your error rates. And whenever you're hand keying things, I mean, gosh, it seems like this has just been going on forever. Not necessarily the lack of integrated payments, but just the whole double keying of data. And so we're beginning to see the end of that, right? With these cloud-based products that are allowing us to move data so easily. But this is a great benefit that we're really excited about. the support is going to be key. And so what you're used to with FastWeigh support, getting your questions answered, I assure you it's part of our culture here. We are intimately involved as a company in every support issue that's coming our way. And so our ownership, our top management, everyone is extremely integrated into that process. What's great about that is that this partnership with Basis, when you look at their tiered support and how their support systems are set up internally, they go hand in hand. We share the same philosophies. So when you have an issue on the processing side, you're going to get someone to speak with. You're not. This isn't a finger pointing situation. This is a true technical partnership with true technical integration. So just cannot stress that enough. It's personalized service. We have a direct relationship. You would have a direct relationship with your processor Basis. And really, this is the final piece of the puzzle for us when you think about how FastWeigh has been engineered. And it really has been engineered for the purpose of following the dollars and the cents. It is a very excellent system for accounting and going and making sure that all of the numbers are in their place. That's how the product was thought out. And so this is the final piece to our puzzle when we put it all together as a cloud-based transactional point of sale system. So AR payments overview, what it's going to do, it's going to integrate and record the payments. We're going to show you a little bit about how that works today, whether it be credit card, whether it be check, whether it be cash. It's all in there. And you're going to be able to track your customer balances. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, you're going to be able to age them right at the click of a mouse. You're going to understand what your current outstanding receivables would be. You're going to be able to do AR adjustments to customer balances. Of course, that's always important. And then if for some of you that might be considering, okay, is this something that would work for us in the context of our ERP or in the context of our accounting system? And so just remember that bidirectional movement of data that we have with multiple ERP systems, even QuickBooks Online for many of you, it still creates this robust transactional relationship of the data. So that's something that's going to be very positive. You're going to be able to print your AR statements. You're going to be able to do the adjustments to your customer balances. There's AR inquiry screens and reporting. The reporting that's out of the gate is excellent. Part of the future of the product will be more robust reporting, but right now it's pretty rock solid. And refunds, of course, we're always having to deal with situations where we might have to refund a credit card transaction, very easily done in our system. And this is a tokenized system on the FastWeigh side, so that we're passing the token to Basis. Basis is handling the transaction, and so it's very tight and it's very articulated. So, getting more into the processing of payments. So, integrated credit card and ACH transactions, like I've mentioned before, card entry via the web portal. So we'll show you that. We'll actually show you how easy it is to enter a credit card and set that up on the fly. Customer payments can be done via the web portal using stored cards. So the cards can be stored in the web portal, the FastWeigh web portal, or ACH routing with PCI compliance. Again, a couple of ways that you can approach this, just like the FastWeigh marketplace is set up so that you can give customers access to their tickets. Well, with the AR module, you can give customers access to their outstanding receivables, and they can view their invoices and they can actually pay them themselves online. So they can just choose. We'll show you that as well. So it's a very user-friendly scenario where you can create the marketplace for your customer base, or you can just set it up as an internal process, however you'd like to do it. Emailing and texting to pay is huge. How nice would it be when, I have a rock driveway here where I live, and I order 2 or 3 or 4 loads of rock a year. You know, they're always sending me an invoice. I pay it, but you know, how nice would it be to get a text and just pay for that rock as it arrives? That's part of the platform now. And if you're interested in having terminals, like hardware terminals at your scale locations, we work with Basis to help you get there. So that's all doable as well. And card vaulting, you know, protecting the data, protecting the ACH data, protecting the precious credit card data is all vaulted according to the PCI compliance and is very secure. So with that said, I'm going to pass it over to BJ Lusk, who's going to walk us through the product. Thanks, BJ.
Hey, thanks, Clay. Let me get my screen switched over here for a second. I can figure out what I'm doing. There we go. Hey, I appreciate everybody joining us today. I know I've spoken to a lot of you before, so it's good to speak to everybody again. We've got a lot to cover here. Well, there's a lot to unpack with the AR module. We're not going to be able to get to it all, so I'll try to do the best I can with the time that we have to show you as much as I can. Now, a lot of you are already using our system for your invoicing, you know, so that's not going to change. We're going to keep doing the invoicing the same way. It's just obviously the difference now is you're going to be able to do the receivables within our system. And this first page that you're seeing here, this is the customer balances page. You can see the aging across the top here for everybody. And then you can see here as we go down the screen, what customers still owe us money. And then if you were to open this up, you could see the specific invoices they have out there. You can see the credit limits here, the balance due, and then their overdue balance and their current credit standing here. One of the first questions that people may have is, well, hey, that's nice, but where do I set all this stuff up? Where do I set up the customer balances or customer credit limit? I'm sorry, the credit limit, and then all that other good stuff. You do it here in the resources. You go to customers tab, but also here we can set up, you know, these customer payment info, the different things like that. We can do that there under the resources. And I'll show you real quick. Up here on this customer profile, you can see here the credit limit. You would put it in there. The different payment methods that you may want to associate with that customer, you could put them there, late fee, payment fee, and different things like that. And then when we talk about setting up payment methods for the customers, you would do that here. And you can see you could set up a card payment, store credit card or whatever, or an ACH record. You could put that there as well. So back over here to the customer balances page, you know, we've got these balances here, and, you know, you've got the outstanding invoice balance. But one of the things that's pretty neat is, you know, we've got the invoice balance, but also, too, we're creating tickets along the way. And that person's credit limit, maybe they're getting closer and closer and closer to that limit, but we may not know it because this invoice balance, we've not invoiced yet. We do offer the ability for you to see in real time the ticket balance. So as they're purchasing material, you can see how much they've bought, and then you can make some decisions on, hey, do we need to cut them off, or do we need to let them keep going, or whatever, based off that ticket balance right there. Okay, so let's say that ABC Construction sends us a check in the mail. How do we receive? Well, before I leave this page, let me mention one more thing before I forget. Statements. You know, every 30 days or whatever, we're sending statements out. We can email those directly from the system here, print them off, and send them to the customers. Whatever we need to do, we can do that from the system here. Okay, so let's say ABC wants to make a payment. You could come right here, click on payment, and that's going to pull up all the invoices that ABC has out there outstanding. So maybe they want to pay this one invoice right here. We'll do a check payment first, so you can see all my payment methods right here. So we'll just do a check payment right there, and I'm going to type in check, 100 right there. Any other payment notes you need to make, we'll hit create payment. Everything looks good. I'll hit OK. Now it's going to download a receipt right there. So we'll just show you an example of a receipt. You can see we've got the receipt right there for the customer. Send it to them, email it to them, whatever you need to do. And so that's a check payment. It's pretty simple, pretty easy process. Let's say that they maybe call us and say, hey, I want to pay over the phone by a credit card or something like that. Again, select the invoice. Let's do a credit card real quick, and I'll show you that. So we've got a credit card right here. When we hit create payment, it's going to pull up options for me. Now, if we've got a stored credit card, you will see that credit card right there. These people do not. So we would click new card, and we would start typing in that information right there. To save a little time, I won't go through this whole process, but you can see we'll start entering that information right there. put the billing address in there. We could save it for future use if you wanted to right there and have that credit card on file. And then from there, once we do that, the process is the same as what I showed you for the check. Just click OK, and it processes that payment. Okay, so that's that. Now, let's talk a little bit about, now, obviously, too, customers can log in and make payments as well. So if a customer, like Clay mentioned, wants to make a payment, they could come in here. In ABC Construction, for example, they would see this page right here. They would be able to make payments. Obviously, they can only make payments with a credit card or with ACH, but they can make payments through their own portal. So another thing that I want to show you is, let's talk about cash customers or people that pay at the scale house. Okay, it can be a cash customer, credit card customer, whatever it may be. But these people that pay at the scale house. So as we're creating these tickets, all the scale operator has to do, we've got a login role for the scale operator that they would have restricted access if you wanted them to, where they could only do just a couple of things. And one of the things they could do is they could see these tickets. So let's say they come up and they want to pay with cash. Let's just do this real quick. You know, you practice all these things so much, and then you get in here and do it for real, that things just are fun. Okay, so we've got these tickets right here, and we want to process these tickets for payment. So let's say this guy comes up and he gets this material and he wants to pay with cash. So all we have to do is just come right here, hit create invoice. That's going to create a quick invoice, and then all that scale operator has to do is say, okay, that's the one, pay with cash. Any kind of numbers they need to put right there, they can. Hit create payment, and we've received that payment. Okay, there's the receipt downloaded right there. We've received that payment. Okay, pretty quick, pretty simple process. Again, credit cards can be done as well. Instead of cash, we could just do a credit card or a check. Another thing that we can do, Clay mentioned this, we can do a text to pay or email to pay feature. Okay, so again, that person comes in, maybe they call and say, hey, deliver this load of rock to me. Before we deliver that load, we need that payment. All right, so what we do is we get everything ready, we get their phone number, email address, or whatever. We say, all right, I'm going to send them an email. So I'll hit create invoice right there. It has sent an email to that email address. And so I'll pull that up and show you what we can do. So there's the email. We'll click on this link right here to pay this invoice. And I'll actually go through the steps to pay this. So we'll say card here, and I'll enter my credit card number. Okay, now I'm going to go over here to the expiration. I'll just do some quick fill information here. All right, now we're going to make payment. Look at there, it processed. So now that payment has been processed. That invoice falls off the screen on the other page, and we can send that load of material on to the customer. Okay, so that's that process right there. All right, now a couple of other things that I'll show you real quick. We have this invoice payment query right here. So you can see, I'm going to back up my date range just a little bit. So within this here, we can see all the invoices that are out there. Also, too, all the payments that have been made. So you can see what all invoices have been paid. We've got our reference numbers here, who created the payment or whatever, and then also the date. We can send a receipt to the customer from here. Here's the refunds we talked about. We can create those refunds right here if we need to for whatever reason. Okay, so that's that page. And two more things I want to show you real quick too, this payment export button right here. So whatever your ERP, your accounting system is, so maybe you want to use FastWeigh for your AR, but we still want to push that payment information over to your ERP. We can create a customized format for you to be able to push that information over to that ERP with this button, with this screen right here. It'll take you to a place where we can send that information over. And then also too, this customer credit right here. So if it's a credit or a debit that you want to put on a customer's account, whatever it may be, we'll just use ABC Construction again. Maybe they purchased fuel from us or something like that. Or you can see right here, we did a tax credit or whatever it is. You don't want to mess with the invoice. You just want to give them a credit or take a debit off or something like that. We can do that here really quickly, apply that credit or debit to their account and move on. Okay, so that's the AR module, the quick and dirty of it. Obviously, if you want to know more about it, give us a call and we'll be able to sit down with you and talk a little bit more about the AR module.
Hey, thanks, BJ. Good job. Appreciate that. It was a lot of information really quick. And what's interesting about it is when you see it over and over again, you realize how much depth it has in it. There's more to talk about there. One of the things I really like is that export. Um, and I think it speaks volumes to what we're trying to do here with the product, and that is create an environment, an open environment where the data can flow where it needs to go, whether it's your ERP or really anything in FastWeigh. Not only the accounting integrations or the ERP integrations, but we have technical partnerships. I just really get excited about this because this is the future of our industry is trying to get the data, the customer's data where they need it to go. So very exciting stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the roadmap and future development. So the integration with the desktop scale application will provide seamless payments in the future at the scale house level. So the scale operator would be able to, without the use of the portal, the web portal, uh, soon they'll be able to do all these transactions at the scale house very easily, straight from the ticketing application. Part of that is a complete rewrite of the scale application that we're in the midst of, which is cutting edge technology. It's called WinUI, and that's all part of what we're putting together here for the next iteration of the Scale app. Also, they'll be able to select multiple tickets from the Scale app for payment. So, if you have a trucking company or a trucker that comes through with several loads, they'll be able to capture all those tickets at the end of the day or whenever he's complete and do one transaction for him. You'll be able to generate invoices and payment records from the Scale app as well. And those will be able to flow up to the web portal. So, just in the spirit of how the Scale app works now, obviously it doesn't have to have internet connectivity to operate. So this, in the same respect, if you're doing all these transactions in the future at the Scale app, as soon as that connectivity is reestablished or comes back into range, then all of those transactions will flow up just like they do if you were adding new trucks, if you were adding new pricing or new customers, et cetera. Um, Also, you'll have the ability to check customer credit from the Scale app. So in the future, there's more to talk about with credit, which is really exciting, especially if your business is a little bit more spread out and you want to monitor things in different regions. So, time for question and answer. Anything yet, Gene? Anybody have a question that we might be able to engage? Let me see. Don't see anything. Okay. Um, let's move on.
Just had a question come in, Clay.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, the question is, how soon are we expecting to release this? So I'll go ahead and take that. Since I'm talking. It's available now. So if you want the AR module, we can go ahead and get it up and going for you right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry, I don't have access to anything. So is that the only question we had?
Yeah, that is. I'll keep checking though as we go along if we have any other
Yeah,
questions.
if there's one that comes in, just let me know. Okay.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up, how do you get started if this is of interest to you? Um, if you're a FastWeigh customer, getting this implemented, getting this spun up is pretty easy. It requires a little bit of discovery, though. We do want to have a conversation with you. If you're not currently using credit card processing or anything like that, then it's good to kind of have everybody does things a little differently, right? So it's good to get a good conversation going, understand what it is that you want to do and how you might want to do it, and then see how we can fit the product for you. We do like to get a collection of current processing information if there's any that exists. And the reason for that is because when we go through this process with you and we do that discovery, we bring basis into the sales process, and we invite them because they're so integral in understanding, okay, what is it that you're paying now? And a lot of times they're able to save the customer money in transaction fees. So there's no promises being made here, but we do get that information so we can make those comparisons and see what we can do for you. Very important there. And then if it's something that you move forward with, then we just set up a kickoff call, and basis is a part of that. So again, technical partnership, that we're walking hand in hand in this process with them. And both our team members would be on that call. We'd hand off the project to the implementation teams, and they would take it from there, and they would begin the onboarding process to get the software live and get everyone trained and get everything operational. And then once that's complete, we basically, just like any other module, once our project managers have completed the implementation and you guys have signed off and said, okay, we're feeling really good about this, then we just would hand that over to the support staff to continue moving things forward and handling any issues that were coming in on any given day.
Hey, Clay, we had
Yeah.
another question, and you touched on it a little bit, and I think this may be a little bit more for Shannon too. The question was, what are the fees? So I'm thinking maybe like the processing fees and things like that.
That is a good, let's get Shannon in here. She can speak to that.
That's a great question, and that's a question I get a lot. Typically, what I do like to do is take a copy or get a copy of your merchant statement. I am going to provide a line-by-line apples-to-apples analysis. And here's why. I want to see what types of cards you're taking. We all know that we're taking Visa and MasterCards, but specifically, how many business-to-business or corporate or rewards cards are you guys taking? That's really the meat and bones of what I can chew on. And so that's really the process. If you are new to processing, I have new to processing rates, and I'm happy to share with you those. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon.
And one more question, Clay, that came in.
Yep.
Does the system allow for surcharging on credit card payments? The answer to that is yes.
Yes, absolutely. And there's so much more to talk about when you start thinking about that, right, BJ? So yeah, there's a lot that could be done. If you want to recover some of that cost of processing cards, it can all be built into the application to help you with that.
One more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read this live, so I may have to think about it. Is there the ability to run a report on the notes in the customer's account? Let's take that one offline. I might have to think about that one real quick.
Perhaps someone on the team could answer that if it's answerable.
Yes. Yeah, just got a message. Yes, that's certainly doable. So sure can.
Great. Wow, good questions. Good stuff. Yeah. Let's go on to the next slide.
Yep.
So again, if you're ready to learn more, let me give you the number. If you don't have it, 865-219-2980. Just call us and ask to be transferred to sales, and we will get the process started for you. Be happy to help you in any way. Here's our information. Obviously, Basis's information. Feel free to write that down. This will be in video form. Once the presentation is complete, we'll get it uploaded to YouTube and probably in a couple of other places. But again, feel free to contact Basis directly. Shannon's number is right there, 913-214-5021. And we appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming today. And I think that's going to wrap things up.
Great. Thank you so much, Clay.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Shannon, and Basis, and everyone. Thank you for your continued support and your business. And we're looking forward to working with you in the future and building more cool products like this. It's I said this yesterday in a video blurb, how impressive it is to be working with such a team that is able to build software effectively, efficiently, without years of development. And so the cloud is truly changing everything. And thank you again for all that you've given us as a customer base, and we appreciate it. Thank you.